Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. Glad you can make it here today on our Sunday edition of the Cabral HouseCall. We'll be answering 6 of our community's questions here today. Hopefully you got to tune into yesterday's show. We had some amazing Q&A sessions there yesterday. That it was at stephencabral.com/2339. Today, if you want to follow along with the questions, head on over right now to stephencabral.com/2340. If you're watching this on YouTube, we appreciate you. Thanks for being a subscriber here. If you're not already a subscriber, please do subscribe. We'd love to have you as part of this community each and every day, putting out new content, new videos. And you can also read right along with the Q&A here today as well. And of course, based on your feedback, because we're always listening to our community, we actually have all the different timestamps for all of the different questions as well. Well, without further ado, let's dive into today's questions. I'm opening up the big document, as I always say. I don't read any of these questions ahead of time. I just rely on my 20 plus years of experience in this field and working and overseeing now well over 250,000 client appointments. All right, let's dive in. First question today is from Khadijah. Khadijah says, hi, I have a few questions on POTS. Basically, last year, my doctor prescribed me 4 different birth controls within 5 months since I was getting side effects, and these hormonal changes triggered PCOS. I broke out, terrible acne, my hair started falling out, my dermatologist prescribed spirolactone. When I was on this medication, I was passing out, had terrible joint pain and fainting, I was bedridden. Lasting side effects were reactive hypoglycemia and POTS. I've changed my diet from vegan to keto, and that has helped with the hypoglycemia, but my heart is still super regular. I'll start sweating, get incredibly anxious, have very fast or slow heart rate. Also just feel so tired, cold hands and feet, starting to get numb there. How do I heal this? I want to exercise and go out without feeling awful and drink alcohol and coffee without feeling like I may have a heart attack. I totally understand where you're coming from. I had POTS for many, many years. POTS, by the way, stands for postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. And basically, it's brutal. I used to just literally walk up one flight of stairs from my family's first floor to my bedroom, which would be in the second floor, because I just wanted to literally lay down. I was so tired when I had Addison's disease and chronic fatigue syndrome and whatever you'd like to refer to these issues as. But I also had POTS. So by the time I would get up just like 6 or 7 stairs, my heart rate would be going like 150, 160 beats per minute. And I would oftentimes have to just sit down on the stairs and wait for my heart rate to come down because my head would be spinning. I'd be feeling like I was going to pass out. So I totally get it. It's awful. I've done many shows on POTS though before. So I just want to make sure that, because people are now waiting 10 weeks for me to answer their question on these weekend house calls. I just want you to be able to ask it at cabralsupportgroup.com. And also I want you to be able to ask or just research my previous podcast on these topics. So you can just type in POTS at stephencabral.com/podcast, and you would find my answers there. Now, I just want to say for you, Khadijah, that you want to be able to at least run your starter kit, if not the big 5. So those at-home labs are available at stephencabral.com/labs, or of course with your local integrative health practitioner, level 2, or naturopathic doctor that can help you with this, because you want to see if this might be an electrolyte issue. So regardless of blood sugar and regardless of a lot of other things, POTS, in my opinion, has to do with inflammation, with imbalanced adrenals, which is the HPA axis, sometimes lowered thyroid, and absolutely mineral levels, not just vitamins, but minerals. So you want to look at your calcium and magnesium. You want to look at your calcium to sodium. You want to look at your sodium to potassium. These are very important ratios. And so, again, that's called the minerals and metals test. But for someone like yourself, I would do the starter kit or the big 5. All right. And that'll get you started. So, but again, you want to look at the underlying root cause imbalances here. I certainly don't want you on keto the rest of your life either. All right. Alitza is up next. I like that you spelt it out phonetically. Alitza. So it says, hi, Dr. Cabral. My question today is about ammonia levels. I ran the Candida metabolic and vitamins test, and it showed I have a very high level of ammonia excess, orotic acid. I believe that is also high ammonia contributes to my bad sleep at night. How can I get rid of that ammonia? I once read that taking L-ornithine helps. What are your thoughts on that? Thank you for your answer. I appreciate your help and wish you a wonderful day. Well, same to you as well. So let me I'm just going to spell ornithine because I want this to be very easily to be searched because you're correct. Ornithine can be helpful, but I'm going to give you the why. But so again, if you go to stephencabral.com/podcast, if someone was to type in ornithine, now they can just find this answer as well because I'm going to talk about it. But so let's talk about the underlying root causes. If someone has ammonia excess in their body, it can be because the liver's not working properly, the kidneys aren't working properly, they're not filtering out this ammonia, part of the urea-based cycle. Now, this doesn't mean you have liver disease. It doesn't mean that you have kidney disease. You have to understand is we have like function in our kidneys and liver from 0 to 100%, right? 100% is the absolute best. Most people are not at 100%. They might be like 82, like 87. I don't know the amount, but like, again, it depends on the person. So someone with high ammonia, maybe they're at like 73%. It's not going to show up as kidney disease or liver disease, but it's just not functioning optimally. Well, why can we have it? All right. Gut-based issues, leaky gut, intestinal permeability, there's methylation markers, there's detox markers that matter. COMT is one of them, MAO is one of them, MTHFR is one of them. But again, that doesn't necessarily matter. I tell that all the time. I talk to you all about that all the time because if you get your vitamins in check, you get your minerals in check, you get your gut in check, then you don't really have to worry too much about your genetics. You honestly don't. People like over geneticizing their life of like what they need to do based on their genetics. Get your body healthy, get your body balanced. Then if you want to fine tune, fine. But you really don't have to get overly worried about that. Now, so even believe it or not this though, like alcohol, okay? Alcohol will raise ammonia levels in the body for certain people, especially if they can't metabolize it as well. Exercise, if you did a hard workout the day before, that can raise ammonia levels. So what can you do? Well, good, healthy, balanced diet, good minerals and vitamins every single day, doing a functional medicine detox every 12 weeks, getting, because you're basically improving your liver function and essentially by proxy your kidney function because your kidneys then have less to do if your liver is filtering more. Something like the daily nutritional support on a daily basis, along with like daily foundation protocol level 2 or 3. And then if you need a little help, L-ornithine can be a helpful product because it helps with the urea-based cycle. But again, I don't like to add just like one amino acid. I would much rather figure out the why and then, okay, maybe after a night of drinking or hard exercise, we can help with the nitrogen excretion or the heavy, you might just be taking too much protein. So again, I always want to know the why behind it before I start to give these like single amino acid recommendations. However, you can try it, start at a lower dose and see how you do, no doubt. Okay, again, now I have to give my disclaimer. I'm not here to provide any medical advice, medical treatment plans, medical cures, or medical diagnosis on the Cabral Concept podcast. Greg is up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. Love the pod and the help you meant. Sorry, Greg, I can't read. This is on me. Hi, Dr. Cabral. Love the pod and the help you motivation you provide daily. Thank you, Greg. I appreciate that. Question is, what are your thoughts on lectins and their effect on gut health? Others in the healthcare space have suggested that foods like beans and bell peppers and tomatoes can contribute to leaky gut due to their lectins creating microscopic tears in the intestinal wall. Are these valid concerns? Is there research to back this up? Thanks again, Greg in Seattle. All right, Greg in Seattle. You know what? I've done a whole podcast on lectins. I've done a whole podcast on oxalates. I've done a whole podcast on salicylates. So that's the thing. Like, this is a great question. It's a valid question. First, I want you to search it at stephencabral.com/podcast. Then if you can't find it, I want you to ask it at cabralsupportgroup.com because the amazing Michelle or Daniel are going to help you get the answer to that question the same day rather than waiting 10 weeks. All right. So that's why I mentioned it to you. I'm not going to give the full answer now because I have a whole podcast on that, 20 minutes long. So the bottom line is this: lectins are only a problem if they're a problem for you. That's the thing, and they're not a problem for everybody. And lectins are usually only a problem for those people with digestive issues that need to be rebalanced in the first place. So instead of us being taught to fare all of these different foods, what we really need to do is rebalance our gut. And that's why most experts peel back the onion a couple layers, all right? And that's where they're at. Because usually they come from a medical background, like a conventional medicine background. So they look at everything as like good and bad, like it's so reductionist. But if you're a true integrative health practitioner and you are willing to open your mind to all possibilities, you begin to realize that when people are sensitive to lectins, it's a real thing. However, what their real imbalance is, bacterial overgrowth or SIBO, candida overgrowth, H. pylori, or parasites, or all of them, and food sensitivity. So they have so much inflammation in their gut. So when they add in foods that also complicate that equation, well, it adds to more inflammation. However, if you have a healthy gut, you have balanced bacteria, your body, except for a few certain foods, is able to process these lectins. It is. Like that's the truth. Now, everyone might have a certain lectin tolerance, but certainly like your body was meant to eat many of these foods. Now, you talked about peppers and tomatoes, a little bit different. Those are called nightshades. I have a podcast on nightshades as well. That is different specifically than just lectins alone. There are people with real nightshade-based issues. Again, we're talking about a fraction of the population, a fraction. So that's why most people have no problem with nightshades. I am one of those rare individuals that really does. But here's the thing. Since I fixed my gut many years ago, I can now eat tomatoes and potatoes and things like that with no joint pain or reactions. Now, if I did that every day, would it fill up my rain barrel? Probably would. But do I eat tomatoes once a week? Yes, I do. And I have no reaction. So again, all things are possible. Rebalance the body. Look for the underlying root causes. Don't believe all the experts. All right. Now, believe some of the experts, right? Not just listen to the Cabral concept. I'm not saying that. But again, people have to be able to peel back that onion all the way. Look at it from multiple modalities. All right. Kamala's up next. Hi, I did my 21-day detox. Can I keep doing another round or is there a limit? Good question, but probably 10 weeks too late, right? So always ask this question at cabralsupportgroup.com. I keep going back there only because I feel so bad that people are waiting 10 weeks for their question. Believe me, I wish I could answer more. I really do. Like, I wish that I could. My team and I are up to answering over 1,000 questions a week between YouTube comments and questions, Facebook, Instagram. It's well over 1,000. I mean, it's probably 300 a day. There's no doubt about it. So I have an amazing team. That's the bottom line. But you only do 21 days every 12 weeks. That's the maximum. All right? So 21 days every 12 weeks. That's the maximum. Okay. But you continue on. So Kamal, good question. Actually, listen to this podcast, How Not to Retox After a Detox. All right. I'm going to do it myself. I'm going to go to stephencabral.com/podcast right now. We're going to do it together. We're going to find this out. And it looks like it's episode 1664, but let's click on it. Yeah, 1867 seems to be more popular. That's how to quarantine. That's the quarantine. BMI, water weight, how not to retox. There it is, 753. I knew we'd find it. It only took like a minute, right? So episode 753, go to stephencabral.com/753. All right, check that out. And the one that just keeps coming up that seems to be quite popular is, I'm going to give you the episode because Google keeps giving it preference, is episode 1867. So why you may regain weight after a detox, diet, or fast. So definitely check that out. That seems to be very popular. All right. Well, there we have it. Sorry, now I'm like intrigued by all the different Google results on this. All right, let's move on. Last question. Oh, no, we have two more questions, which is great. Let's see. Bridget's up next. My friend's 12-year-old son was born with no eyebrows. He does have a few hairs that are blonde, but you can't really see them unless you look hard. He has brown hair otherwise. Do you know what could cause this? As he gets older, the kids at school get meaner. He does have allergies to peanuts, animals, and is a bit overweight. Other than that, he seems like a healthy kid. Thanks so much for all of your hard work. helping the community? This is a great question, and I've actually never come across this. And this happens every once in a while, but it's very rare. But I'm always very honest with you and say I have never. Now I have actually a friend who does not have eyebrows, but that's because he lost all the hair in his body. We'll just say due to a certain medical intervention when he was in his early 20s. And that was the reason why, though. So if he has hair on the rest of his body, so a 12-year-old boy probably has hair in his legs, some hair in his arms, he has hair on the top of his head. If all of that is normal and just not the eyebrows, I don't have the answer to that. Now, if he didn't have hair growing on the body, then that's a form we would look at of an autoimmune issue, an alopecia-based issue. And if that's the issue, I have lots of podcasts on alopecia, total alopecia, and so definitely check that out. Unfortunately, I do not have the answer to that because I've never come across it, but it's certainly a good topic for me to do my own research on and look into as well. I just want you to know that when cases come about and there isn't a lot of good research on it, what we do is we always do the starter kit for children and adults. And so what we do is we look at the underlying imbalances in terms of vitamins, minerals, gut function, heavy metals, etc. So it's at least a place to start. We don't always know if that's the answer, but we might find some things we'd work on that, such as heavy metals. And then you'd want to look into, I don't know, again, this is not a medical treatment plan or medical cure or medical recommendation, but again, you'll speak with your doctor, and I believe it's minoxidil. I have a whole article on hair growth-based methodologies that they may want to try rubbing above the eyes, away from the eyes themselves, but rubbing where the eyebrows are, because minoxidil can actually help grow hair and grow it thicker in many cases. All right. So hopefully that is helpful, Bridget. All right, let's see if we can get one more question in before our time. It says, "Hi, Doc. I'm halfway through the CBO protocol now." This is from Summer, by the way. "I'm noticing a huge increase in plaque and calculus buildup on my teeth. Ever since I cleaned my diet up about 5 or 6 years ago, I would notice barely any plaque and never any calculus buildup. I couldn't believe how clean my teeth have always felt, and I always get comments from my dentist and hygienist. Now I have this fuzzy teeth, and it's driving me crazy. I was a dental assistant for 7 years, still work in the dental field. Do you think perhaps this could be a vitamin or mineral imbalance? I'm wondering if I get too much of something. I take 1 to 2 scoops of the DNS alongside my supplements I've always taken. The only supplements that have changed would be adding DNS, switching to Equalife's alkalizing vitamin C, the omega-3, and the daily thyroid support. I also started taking the Highlands Bioplasma cell salts religiously. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Thanks for your time." Yes, I'm happy to help. And this is what we do. I mean, we work through these variables all the time with people. So the fuzzy teeth, I definitely know what you're talking about. It is from typically an imbalance in the bacteria in the mouth. Not always, but oftentimes. And that can happen from an imbalance in the pH in the mouth. So there's only 2 products that could cause this. Only 2 of the ones that you're taking right now. All right. So the first one, and most likely, is the Bioplasma cell salts. And I'll tell you why, because I used to use them 1,000,000 years ago, like 1,000,000, but 1,000,000 to me is like 15 years ago. And the issue is that they are made with lactose. They're made with milk sugar, which can absolutely cause that fuzziness on your teeth because you're allowing them to dissolve in your mouth. All right. So what you're going to do is you're going to remove those for 2 weeks, and you're going to see if that fuzziness goes away over the next 2 weeks. The second is make sure you haven't changed your toothpaste. All right. So you use the same toothpaste you've always used when you didn't have fuzzy teeth. All right. So maybe like 6 months ago, if you change your toothpaste, go back to that. All right. Then if you remove the Bioplasma salts, and you say, I still feel some fuzziness, drink the alkalizing vitamin C through a straw, okay? And don't let it touch your teeth. Or take the alkalizing vitamin C capsules instead and see if that does it, all right? Now, the alkalizing vitamin C, I haven't heard of this, anybody happening with it, but it has alkaline minerals, calcium, magnesium, and potassium bicarbs. So it's able to help alkalize the system. So quite good, but again, doesn't mean it might not be changing your unique microbiome, right? Inside of your mouth, your oral microbiome. So that is what I would do. Again, I'm betting on the bioplasma, but I'm not a betting man. So then you'll do the ELK-C. And then if it's not that, of course you can stop everything, but I've just never heard of any other cases like at all. So I'd say like, are you adding any different foods to your DNS? Anything like that could cause this. Much more rare. But hopefully that helps. And of course, we'd love to hear that success story. Thank you everyone for tuning into the Cabral Concept. I appreciate you. I thank you. Thank you for your shares, your listens, your downloads, your subscribes. They mean the world to not just me, but my team. This is what we do. This is what we love. So thank you. And I'll be back tomorrow on our Motivation and Mindset Monday. Don't miss it. Before you go, I wanted to ask you this question. What if I could teach you in just a couple of hours how to transform your thyroid, hormones, adrenal, cholesterol, blood pressure, blood sugar, weight loss, energy, mood, brain, pregnancy, anti-aging, or many other health-related issues? After 20 years in private practice, after seeing and overseeing 250,000 client appointments, I sincerely feel I have the real-world data and have found the answer you've been searching for. So what I've done is spent hundreds of hours of my own time refining what you need to know in order to uncover your underlying root cause health issues and then begin to rebalance the body and bring it back to a state of robust health and wellness. I'm going to teach you exactly what I do in my private practice so you can understand how you got here and now what you need to do in order to heal. You'll receive all of the important success checklists, protocols, and even ways to customize it to make the program fit your busy life. And you'll get all of this at a fraction of the price. Let me save you the time, money, energy, stress, and frustration of not knowing what to do next. Instead of reading dozens of books on the topic and seeing multiple practitioners, I will condense everything that you need to know in just a few hours of video tutorials that you can watch and listen to anywhere. Together, we will make this healing process an enjoyable one that you can take with you for the rest of your life. I wish you all of the best of health and happiness, and I hope to be able to guide you on your healing journey through my Health Results Accelerators. Simply choose the health imbalance you're currently suffering from, and by the end of today, you'll know what went wrong and how to get well again. I guarantee it. For details, head over now to stephencabral.com/courses.